Yes, and I respect that. But my client has a championship to contest. So if you want our participation, I'm afraid the concessions are mandatory. Yes, that's fine. Get back to me when you can. Goodbye. No one ever just signs the contract. Anyway, thanks for coming by on such short notice. I just needed to cover a couple of quick things with you before you race. Firstly, as requested, is a copy of your contract. It's a rolling deal. However, the team reserves right of termination if you fail to meet performance standards. You're second driver for now, but work hard, hit your targets, and I'll be able to sweeten the deal. I'm also looking to get you into some invitational events throughout the season. The experience and exposure from these will be great for your image. Plus, you'll get to drive some nice historic cars. Now then, go get ready for the next session, and good luck.
The track acclimatization program, available in free practice sessions, allows you to learn the track whilst earning resource points for the development of your car. On-track markers show the key points through each corner, and the more of these you're able to consistently drive through at an appropriate speed, the higher your score and the more resource points you'll be rewarded with. Try and chain together multiple successful corners for a consistency boost. Consistency over a long distance is vital in Formula One, so being able to manage tyres and reduce tyre wear is a useful skill. The tyre management program available in free practice sessions will help you learn tyre management while earning resource points for development of your car. Be careful on the controls to reduce the amount of tyre slip and therefore wear. The better you can do this, the higher you will score and the more resource points you'll receive. You'll need to balance tyre management with speed, as you must stay under the target lap time. When the on-screen bar moves towards the red end, that means that you're wearing your tyres more than expected at this part of the lap. When it moves towards the purple, you're wearing them less. Stay in the green or purple for a successful test. The qualifying pace program available in free runs to an expected position on the starting grid. Complete 3 flat-out laps on the fastest tyre compound to set the best time you can, and you'll earn resource points for hitting your target. The drag reduction system, or DRS, opens a flap on the rear wing to reduce drag and improve the straight-line speed of the car. Drivers are able to use this system in specific DRS zones as long as the circuit is dry. There are no additional restrictions to DRS use in practice and qualifying. However, in a race, the system can only be used when the driver is 1 second or less behind another. Watch the bar at the bottom of your multi-function display as you approach the DRS zone to see your distance to the activation point, and activate it by pressing the DRS button when the prompt appears. The multifunction display is a vital tool to give drivers control over their cars and make important information visible during a race. It's possible to cycle through the screens on the MFD to access the settings, such as brake bias or the tyres to be fitted at the next pit stop, as well as car condition, component temperatures and race strategy information. When speaking to your engineer through the radio, the MFD is also the place where you'll be able to view and select your available commands. The safety car may be deployed if there's an incident or if the conditions are too dangerous to drive in. Once the safety car is out on track, there's no overtaking permitted, and you must keep your lap time above a minimum in order to safely form a queue behind it. You can judge your pace using the delta element of the on-screen display. Ensure you drive slowly enough to keep it positive. Once a line has formed, the safety car will re-enter the pits. Remember that there's no overtaking until the green flag's at the first safety car line. If the incident is less severe, the virtual safety car may be deployed. It's not necessary to form a queue under the VSC, but just stay above a certain delta time and obey yellow flag rules until the virtual safety car period comes to an end. There's a huge amount of time to be won and lost in the pits, but ensure that you don't get too greedy as you approach the pit lane speed limit line. On the approach, you'll see a notification of the pit lane speed limit and your distance to the limit line. If you cross this threshold too fast, you'll be given a speeding penalty, so be careful. There are valuable tenths to be won by getting it right though, so leave your braking as late as you dare. At the pit exit, it's important not to cross onto the racetrack before reaching the end of the white pit exit line. Tyre selection is a critical issue in Formula 1, and the current tyre regulations give individual drivers more freedom than ever. Pirelli allow 13 sets of dry tyres and 7 sets of wet tyres for a full race weekend, so you need to be careful to make your allocation last the distance. From the dry sets, 3 are pre-selected by Pirelli and marked as mandatory for Q3 and the race, but drivers can adjust their allocation for the other 10 sets from the 3 available compounds. Just remember, during the Grand Prix, every driver must use one of Pirelli's mandatory tyres plus 1 set from a different compound. The formation lap is an opportunity to practice your race start and put some energy through your tyres and brakes to get them up to the optimal temperature for the beginning of the race. When the light goes green, pull away from the grid and stay in position, making sure to keep your car in good condition as you drive a lap at a steady but consistent pace in order to prepare for the start of the Grand Prix. Races aren't won from the start line, but they can be lost, so getting a good start can make an important difference to your Grand Prix. As the lights come on, engage the clutch by holding the gear up button. Then, feed in the throttle to build up the revs. When the lights go out, release the clutch and it's away we go. But be careful not to release the clutch too early, or you may end up jumping the start. If your RPM is too low when you drop the clutch, your car may go into anti-stall. Don't panic if this happens, keep a cool head, clutch in, build up the RPM, and then release the clutch, just like the start procedure, to get underway again. The Race Strategy Programme is all about developing a personal race strategy. This test will help the team to understand how much fuel is required and also the best tyre policy to employ for the race. The results are determined from data which is directly affected by your driving style, so managing your fuel and tyre wear during the test, for example, will result in a strategy that caters to these qualities. Keeping up with the development race is vital for continued success in Formula 1, but resources are limited, so choose carefully where you allocate them. Throughout your career, you will earn resource points, and there are 4 departments of car development in which you can spend them: chassis, aerodynamics, powertrain, and durability. At any one time, each of these can be tasked with researching a new part and, in some cases, improving their infrastructure. Higher levels of upgrade will cost more and take longer to complete, but the performance gains will be significant. You'll need to find the right balance to suit your needs and maximise performance throughout the season. Over the course of the Formula 1 season, each driver is limited to a total of 4 power units and 4 gearboxes, with penalties issued for going over that limit. Each component wears with use, which causes performance degradation over time. Drivers will have to monitor the wear levels of each relevant component and choose when to swap them out for fresh units, in order to find the best balance between performance and reliability.
Welcome to Melbourne, where the practice session is about to start for this weekend's Australian Grand Prix. The pre-race talking is over. Now it's time for the drivers to show their worth. Beside me to take you through free practice today is a man with 3 decades of racing experience under his belt. It is, of course, Anthony Davidson. Thanks for joining us today, Ant, and tell me, where should we be focusing our attention today?
I think we need to be looking across the entire field to see how far these cars are able to push a single set of tyres. While everyone will be trying different setups and running with different fuel loads, if you're attentive enough, you can definitely pick out trends for each type of tyre compound, which will give us a rough idea of how long the drivers are able to stay out there during a stint in the race. In the unforgiving world of Formula One, free practice sessions are a vital part of any Grand Prix weekend. During your F1 career, you'll be able to utilise these sessions to complete practice programmes which will help you learn the track and earn you points that can be invested in developing your car. You'll also be able to adjust your car setup over the course of these sessions to try and find those extra fractions of a second.
Morning, it's Jeff here. I'm looking forward to working with you as your race engineer. Hope you've had your coffee, because we have a lot of work to do today to get ready for the season ahead. We're ready to fire up the car. Why not head out and get a few early laps under your belt? Let's get a few laps under our belt.
after the Russian Grand Prix sport here at Sochi. I'm sure Max Verstappen will be hoping for some wet today. Certainly see some interesting overtakes from the Red Bull driver if that's the case.
At some point before qualifying, let's get our track acclimatization program complete. It'll help us identify any specific problem areas on the circuit. Checks complete. We're ready. race simulation on any tyre yet. We have multiple sessions available, so it isn't urgent right now, but we should make time for a tyre wear program at some point.